Hey everybody, my name is Helen Morrison, for those of you who don't know me, and I just finished my workout for the day and it brought something to my mind that I wanted to jump on here, make a quick video and share with you. So I have also been teaching yoga for about 10 years, and a lot of times when I teach yoga, one thing that I hear commonly from people who are newer is that it bothers their wrists. So things like planks and down dogs especially, but as you know, if you've done yoga before, you're on your hands a lot. So if your wrists are weak or if your alignment isn't what it needs to be, or if your forearms are weak, that can cause some of the pain. And even just because it's something new, that can cause a little bit of pain. So it's really important, because your wrists are super small and you're putting a lot of weight there on your hands, it's really important that you warm up your wrists before you get into these kinds of exercises. So I'm going to share with you a couple of wrist strengthening, forearm strengthening, and even just kind of stretching movements that you want to do before you maybe start yoga, or you're going to be doing a workout where you're on your hands and knees a lot or in a plank position a lot. So first things first, pretty basic, and you may have seen this before. You're just going to clasp your hands and you're just going to rotate. So you might rotate 15 times clockwise, and then you'll switch directions and go 15 times counterclockwise. It might feel a little awkward, but it's okay. It's kind of just opening up your wrists. So you do that, 15, 15. And then the next thing you're gonna do, simple, you're just gonna press your fingertips down and then pull back towards you. You don't wanna jam into it, just do it real gently. You can do it again, and you can switch sides. So pressing down, pulling back, okay? Now, I want to get into a couple of moves. There's three that are actually, for me, what I've found to be the thing that strengthens my forearms the most and really helps me feel stable with my wrists. So the first thing, you got to be in a tabletop position. So I'm going to switch over here so you can see me. Let me move my camera down so you can see my hands on the floor. All right. There we go. So let's see. So you're going to have your, I still can't see. Let's go down a little bit more. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, palms flat on the floor, and what you're basically going to do in your tabletop position is you want the weight in your palms, and you're just going to kind of pop up. So here in tabletop, you're just going to lift up onto the balls of the hands and the fingertips, and then back down. And I'll show you from the other side here, from the front. I don't know if you can see me. Here we go. Okay, so you're going to pop up and then down. Up and then down. Now, one thing you want to be careful of as you're doing this, because you're trying to strengthen your wrist, you're not just lifting your body. You don't want to pop up with your chest. You want to keep your chest neutral, kind of shift forward a little bit so the weight's in the hands, and then you lift and lower. Lift and lower. So you're going to press into the fingertips and lower. And you want to try to lift and lower as slow as you can so you're not jamming down. This really starts to strengthen your forearms. And it's interesting because if you just do about 15 or maybe 2 sets of 15, the next day my forearms, the first time I did this, were sore. So you can tell that it's really working. So you just lift and lower. Lift and lower. Not only does this strengthen, but it kind of starts to teach you where you want your weight distributed when you're in a plank or a down dog, because rather than jamming into my wrists, all my weight back, I want my weight forward into the balls of my hands. So lift and lower, lift and lower. So you do that 15 times. The next thing you're going to do is kind of a variation on a push-up. You'll rotate your hands in, thumbs in towards your body, and let's see, I don't think you can really see that very well. So I'm taking my hands, turning my thumbs in towards my knees, and my elbows forward. And then from there, my hands are about shoulder width distance apart. I'm going to do 15 push-ups. So just down and up. Now again, I want to shift forward so that my weight is in my upper body, down and up. You want to keep your belly pulled in so that you're not just kind of sagging through your low back, down and up. So this is again going to open up your wrists, kind of stretch and strengthen, and as well as your forearms. So the third one you're going to do, now I'm going to turn this down just a little more again. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so now you're going to go on the backs of your hands, or the tops of your hands rather, not your palms. You're going to place them down. And you want to be careful here not to put too much weight, but still shift forward a little bit, because you don't want all the work to be just your core. You want it to be in your wrists, your forearms, your upper body. And then again, you're going to go push up and press. Push up and press. Now this is not about chest and shoulders. So if you're feeling like you're really working there, then put some weight back, shift your butt back towards your heels. You're just gonna do that 15 times. Really simple. And this is great, again, for stretching your wrists and kind of getting you ready to be on your hands and on your knees. Okay, so that's it. Now, the last thing I kind of want to share with you, as I mentioned, you've got to be stretching and strengthening so you're able to work into that range of motion. But at the same time, maybe you have strong forearms. Maybe you're doing all these exercises I'm sharing, but you still feel that pain in the wrists. So one thing you want to check out then is your form and your alignment. Now, when you go into a plank or a down dog, as I mentioned earlier, most people when they're new are all in the wrist or the back of your hand here, and you really want your weight to be forward in the ball of your hand and in your fingertips, and also distributing the weight evenly between all 5 or all 10 fingers. So pressing down through the thumb and the pinky finger is really important. And as you place your hands on the floor, you almost want to feel like you're creating a suction cup in your hand. You can kind of see that there, so that the weight stays out of your wrist and it's forward in the balls of your hands and fingertips. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a down dog, and then we'll talk about it in plank a little bit too. So I'm going to tilt my camera down one more time. All right. So as I come into my down dog, place my hands on the floor, lift my hips. So it's okay that you can't see my down dog. The important part here is the wrists. So right now you can see I can lift my hands off the floor. If you're able to lift your fingertips and the balls of your hands off the floor, you know, and it's easy, you know the weight is in the wrong place. You want the weight forward. So instead, what I might start to practice is just come up on my balls of my hands, press my thumb and pinky down, and just hold here for a moment. Now this is not where you'd want to stay in your down dog, but this is just a good place to start to practice. You can start to see my arms are quivering a little bit. I don't know if you can tell that on the camera, but you can tell that that's really starting to strengthen my forearms and wrists. So it's just a good place to hold just for your down dog, just to strengthen. And then from there, to find your alignment, place your palms back on the floor, but without jamming into your wrists. So now my hands are flat, but the weight is still in my fingertips. And I want to kind of squeeze the floor with my fingertips. And then I'm rotating my shoulders away from each other, rotating my triceps down, and then shifting back. And as I do that, as I lift my hips higher and as my arms and shoulders start to activate, there's less weight in my wrists, okay? So same thing then if I come down into my plank. I'm in my plank. You know, you can go in your plank up on your fists, or you could go up on your fingertips here, spreading your fingers wide. That'll start to strengthen. But what you really want to think here is shifting forward, and imagine you're gonna lift your wrists off the floor. Now, I can't do that, but if I think about it and I press into my fingertips, there's less weight there. And then again, you want to strengthen, draw your shoulders down, and you feel it in your chest, and your core is taking the work and not your wrists. All right. So I hope you find these tips helpful. I hope that you're able to kind of practice them a little bit. If nothing else, always do that wrist warm up side to side here, and that'll at least get you a little bit closer to having your wrists warm, because we often stretch the rest of our body, our hamstrings, our shoulders, maybe our triceps, but our wrists are so small and they take a lot of weight, so we've got to be mindful that we're taking care of them as well. So I hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. And just as a recap, before you do any work where you're going to be on your hands and knees, or maybe yoga, things like that, I want you to get the rotation. I want you to get the stretch front to back, and then you're going to be down on your palms, pop the wrists 15 times slowly, and then you're going to turn your thumbs in, 15 push-ups slowly, and then you're going to take the tops of the hands down, 15 push-ups like that. As you get stronger, you can start to scoot your knees back, so you're almost more like on your knees in a plank rather than just in a tabletop. But until you're stronger, just stay with that. You may even try 3 sets of 15. If you do this daily, your wrists are going to get so much stronger, your forearms so much stronger, and you won't feel that pain in your hands, your wrists that you may have previously when you're trying to do planks or down dogs, or if you're more advanced, maybe your handstands and arm balances like crow pose and things like that. So thanks guys, have a great day.